Hey, welcome to the channel, Collector's Life for me. So today I'm going to be talking to you about why I chose not to buy either a collector's booster box or a draft booster box of Double Masters 2022 and instead bought 40 singles. So I'm going to show you what I bought instead because I was watching prices on these singles since release, and Double Masters is a set that, in my opinion, the value is in the singles, and purchasing the $300 collector's box or the $330 draft booster box is really just a hunt for some of the more rare or highest value cards. And to be honest, in my opinion, a few of them aren't really worth that hunt. So I've ended up buying a mix of cards you could get in both draft boxes as well as collector boxes exclusives. So first I got this Blood Artist. I really only bought it. This is the only pack foil I purchased, and I got it because it's a new art of a great card. So I like that. So I got the new Lightning Bolt in the borderless art. I actually prefer to get this kind of art in non-foil. I feel like in some cases it takes away from the actual art, and the reason I bought these was for the alternate art. So I ended up getting most of the cycle of bounce lands. So here's the Golgari Rot Farm. I ended up with 2 copies of the Izzet Boiler Works, the Azorius Chancery, Boros Garrison, Gruul Turf. This is my favorite of these arts. It's like a fighting pit going on. Rakdos Carnarium. I'm a big fan of the Carnarium flavor. The Selesnya Sanctuary. Ended up with 2 of those. The Simic Growth Chamber. Dimir Aqueduct. So I got the Eternal Witness because of this specific art. Who knows if they'll reproduce this card in this art. Not the biggest fan of it. I like other versions better. Mentor of the Meek. This will replace a normal version I have in my Winota commander deck. Terminate. Young Pyromancer. So this is the foil version. I love the colors that pop on it. It makes me wish I had an LGS closer to where I could see some of these in person, because sometimes the foiling can make a huge difference, but you really got to see some of them in person to know. So Hardened Scales, great card. Dark Steel Plate. This is the normal version, and it was like $4. This card's too good to not have for $4. The Mimeoplasm. So just a legendary commander card that I don't have in my collection, so I figured I'd pick up this version, and it was really cheap. Azure Storm. This will upgrade a version I have in my Narset Enlightened Master deck. Okay, so now we're getting into the stuff that is a fair amount of this is going to be collector's packs exclusives. So you were only able to get the etched foils and the textured foil cards in the collector's booster boxes. Any other card you could get in the draft boxes. So you can get the borderless arts, you can get the borderless foils. They're less common. There's not a specific slot for them, but they do appear in the draft booster packs. So Hardened Scales, I was a little disappointed with the art on this, mostly because the etch foiling version, it kind of seems washed out. Also the off-centering. It would be great if TCGplayer people put more photos of the cards on, but I understand when there's cards that are only $2 or $3, it may not be worth it to put the pictures. But this was the only card I got that, the centering was kind of an issue. So Master Biomancer, so the etch foiling where they have the dual colors, most of them look pretty amazing and they really do pop in the etch foiling. So this will go in my Animar Mutate deck. Glenalendra, another card I didn't have in my collection, and in this foiling, I think it looks nice. Planner Bridge. This will go in my Crufix Eldrazi deck. Another card I didn't have in my collection. Etch foil. So the silver etch foiling also pops. It's probably some of my favorite foiling. Judith the Scourge Diva. So I'm a big fan of the character and the card. Not a very high value card. One thing that's interesting about this card though is it might be considered a misprint. Look at those symbols. I mean, there's definitely an issue with the ink on this card or the printing. And I bought multiple cards from the same seller, and this was the only one like this, so I know it's not fake or anything. Villainous Wealth. So the gold treatment on the edge foil is probably another one of the versions that really stands out and looks great in the edge foiling. This will go in my Zexara deck as an upgrade. Rune of the Hidden Realm. I've been wanting to make a Blink deck for a while, and I don't have Rune in my collection. I was thinking of doing a Yorion instead, but saw the opportunity. He's like $3 in this edge foil treatment to get. Zur the Enchanter. Similar reason to buy this, just the price and this particular version, these edge foils. You can only get them in an $80 pack. So even, and a lot of them are less than $5, and so even if the card isn't the most sought after, it's tough to pass up for that price. Might find his way into my Alela deck, only I wish his ability was an ETB ability, not an attack trigger. Marchesa of the Black Rose. I won't be making a deck out of her. This will probably just go into a binder. Just another kind of iconic commander type card that I don't have in my collection. Edge foil. So now we're on to the mythics. So I got a fair amount of mythics. I ended up getting 10 mythics, which is also very tough to do in a draft booster box or even the collector's box. I don't even know if it's possible. You only get 4 rare or above cards per pack in those, and you only get 4 packs. So the odds of you getting 10 mythics out of your 16 rare or above slots is, I mean, those odds are, like I said, I don't even know if it's possible. But Elenda the Dusk Rose, so this will go in my Edgar Markov Charm Groom commander deck. And I think she was only like, $7. Emil the Blessed, this was the Jumpstart, one of the better Jumpstart cards that was created. And now it's been reprinted in double masters in a few versions. So I picked up this art because of the price. I think it was $6 in the borderless art, non-foil. Liliana, the Last Hope. So I do like full art planeswalkers. However, in my opinion, this card is kind of an anomaly in this set when you consider that this copy is $15. The normal art version you can get in the draft boosters is about $8, but the textured foil version is about $200. That is a ridiculous price gap. So you're really just paying for that treatment of the card. You're not paying for the value that the actual card has or the playability of it. So Liliana, you know, $15 to get the full art version of this, well worth it, considering a draft booster pack is actually around $15 by itself. Muldrotha the Gravetide, another mythic commander card in this set. Just as etch gold treatment. I don't have Muldrotha. I doubt I'll build a Muldrotha deck, but the card will be a part of my collection now. Kali of the Vast. So this was a tough one for me to end up purchasing. This one was $27. And the booster pack version has dropped to about $8. So that's quite a price difference. However, I don't know if they'll make this particular card in this treatment again. So for $28, knowing it's a mythic and the odds of pulling an etch foil mythic out of this slot in the collector's boosters are very small, And then if you're hunting for a specific one, your odds are really thin. There's 160 cards that are in this slot, and you only get one per pack. So I thought this was a good buy for myself. If I do build a Kali of the Vast deck, you know, this will be the face commander, and then eventually I can sell my other version, maybe recoup half of what I paid for this, if not a little more. Bear Blossom, I had a set target for that if it dropped below $20, I would buy it. I ended up buying it for $24, which I wanted one extra copy. So to get this in this art that I don't have for $24, I felt like it was too good of a deal for a mythic card like this. So Mana Drain, this is an interesting one. You start looking at prices of Mana Drains, and they've come down a long ways because it's been reprinted numerous times in the past few years. And right now, the draft booster pack version is about $40. I think $38 might be some of the lowest listings. And this version is only $44. So that seems like a fair price to upgrade to this art. Now, I can't say I'm the biggest fan of this art, but the other art is kind of getting oversaturated because they have it in the etch foil, the pack foil, the standard version. You know, it's been reprinted a few times, and now the normal art is well abundant, and they may not produce it in this art again. You never know. Allosaurus Shepherd. So this is another card where the regular version was $28 and this version was $30. So the $2 upgrade from that to the borderless version was, you know, a fair value. Also, they may not, you know, reproduce this card in this art again. So these were the two bigger purchases that I made. I'll just show them both. So I went with Ulamog and Kozilek in the etched foil treatments. Kozilek was $45, Ulamog was like $38. So I felt like that was an amazing deal because the normal version of Ulamog is like $35 and the normal version of Kozilek is $40. And the textured foils, in my opinion, these are just as rare or difficult to get. And in fact, you might actually end up spending a lot more money hunting a specific etched foil mythic by buying collector's booster packs than you may the textured foil, because they only produced 5 cards in a textured foil, and this they produced 160 different versions of etched foils, and they also, every mythic in the set is available in etched foil. So if you're looking at your odds per pack, you could potentially have to buy 160 packs in order before you got one of these, and at $80 a pop, that's just insane. Also, if you look at TCGplayer, there has been far fewer of these versions available for sale since launch compared to the texture foils. And I know both markets will eventually dry up, but I feel like the price difference of these cards at $40 versus the textured foils at $200 to $300, I just feel like that comparison is too far off. So I got these are going in my Crewfix deck. Ulamog will be an upgrade. I actually don't have a Kozilek, so this was another card I was targeting to buy. So I ended up spending $320 on this entire lot. So 40 cards, $320. 13 of the cards were collector's boosters exclusives. So I would have had to buy at least 13 collector's boosters to even have a chance to get a lot of the cards that were in this. And so with that being said, let me know how I did. I feel like this was the better way to go. Not every set is like this. Some sets it's better to buy the sealed product, but I felt like this set was kind of a no-brainer to go after specific singles for kind of the price of entry. Also, if you are looking at buying a draft booster box at around the $320 to $330 mark, if you start just looking through, scanning through TCGplayer and looking at the base versions of cards, some of them are at all-time lows. And if you were to build your own booster box for $300, I think the value you'd get in getting specific cards you wanted as well as being able to get a lot more bang for your buck in a sense, and also reduce the amount of bulk. Because let's face it, when you buy a booster box, you do get a lot of commons, uncommons that you don't play. They get sorted into your boxes, and eventually some of them might, be worth a little more than they are now. But typically those are the oddities. You end up with more bulk than you do the actual cards you play or the actual cards that have value. And when you're looking at a collector's pack for $80, remember, about 10 cards in there are most likely going to fall into that bulk category. And so already spending $80 on a pack, and 2/3 of your pack is, there's going to be very little value, and even no playability in some cases. So just keep that in mind. And I know there's other people who've said it. Buy singles. It is worth it. I think you'll be happier. And beyond that, enjoy the rest of your day.